everybody, welcome to the football fill-in. It's been another weekend of fun and games in the Premier League. Liverpool stuttering, Chelsea just about getting the job done. We've had another managerial sacking, Bruno Lage being given the boot. The North London derby is red. It certainly is red. However, the Manchester derby, though, definitely not red. And who else would I want to have alongside me when Manchester United had just been gubbed 6-3, other than Mark Goldbridge? How about you, mate?
All right. You're not going to get a Man City fan on, are you, though?
He's horrible, isn't he?
Even when they win, you can't find one.
Horrible. I don't think there are any famous Man City fans,
There are any fans.
We've also got Richard Lee here. So Richard, former Watford and many other teams, Premier League goalkeeper, all that kind of stuff. Now, goalkeeping super agent. Like if a goalie gets transferred somewhere, most of the time it's you that does it, right?
Normally it's got my grubby little fingerprints somewhere.
Yeah, your grubby little fingerprints, and it's you taking all the money out of football, being like this super powerful agent. Right, you're a Manchester United fan. Mark, definitely a Manchester United fan. We have to start with what happened yesterday, lads. It was... I remember watching your stream, Mark, and at one point you said, this is going to be a massacre. This could be a massacre. And it could have been a massacre, but it finished 6-3. It was not pretty, was it?
No, it wasn't. So we were talking before we came on, weren't we? That I think the big thing for me was that we saw Palace there a few weeks ago, and yes, they lost, but they gave it a go. I can't get my head around players that go on a pitch and just suddenly don't fancy it, and 11 players as well. I think that's the thing that I'm gutted about this morning and yesterday. I don't mind losing. It's a game of football. You're going to lose. But watching that, it was a long 90 minutes. And the players have let themselves down. They let the fans down. They let the manager down.
Yeah.
And I'm fed up with it. I mean, it seems to come around quite regular now. It's a monthly occurrence. Man United getting smacked up.
It was painful, wasn't it? Like, we did this a few weeks ago, and I remember saying to you, I just hope Man City don't score early. Because if they score early, it's going to be absolute carnage. And they scored, what was it, 8 minutes in? 6 or 8 minutes, and oh wow, mate, I'm watching it thinking, oh no. And then at this point, this is when I put your stream on, and I'm watching it thinking, this is ridiculous. Did Ten Hag get the team selection wrong to start with?
Yeah, no, I think we'd all agree that probably start Casemiro, but that team did beat Arsenal, so I think obviously he got it wrong. I would have played Casemiro. I would have played Casemiro and McTominay. I think Eriksen and McTominay just got run over. But I can see why he did it. But I've got to be honest, from the shows we do in the community, we've got, I'd say 95% said you've got to start Casemiro in that game. So I think we still would have lost because he would have probably been infected by the same virus they all had, which is not giving a... But I think the midfield was so naive. And it's interesting what that Instagram post you're on about from Paul Scholes. Yeah. About the fullbacks not getting any support. Yeah. I'm so glad Scholes has said that because we were on about this. The fullbacks get no support in that game as well. So it wasn't just the midfield too. You defend as a team, don't you? I felt bad for the keeper in the back four. They didn't play well, but you got runners all over the place. They were dizzy.
Well, I was going to say how much of it is that, okay, you say City against Palace, whoever else, like when they need to turn it on, they can be that good. They could have won that 10. When they got that 6, if they'd have carried on pushing forward, and he made the 5 changes at that point, and just, it was always going to be 6-1 at that point, I thought. Obviously then got a couple of goals back, but that was them switching off, job done, move on to the next game. I just think a lot of it is City are just that good.
How mad is it, that like Man City now, they're getting to the point where they'll feel like they score 5 or 6 goals, and then that's the moment, lads. Like everybody knows, but it's become a thing where because they do it so often, they'll get to 5 or 6, and then they'll go right, make the subs, chill it down now, lads. And I bet you, even the lads going on, he must say to them, don't take the piss, just chill, right? Don't go and make this into a massacre, all right? I want to talk about Rizzo. I want to talk about the Haaland goal, the header, whose decision is it, to have Christian Eriksen marking Erling Haaland from a corner? Whose decision is that? And surely at some point somebody has to say, nah, excuse me, like this can't happen. Look, no, it's not a thing.
Yeah, but that's got to be done prior to the game. That can't happen there and then. Like, I'd always put myself into Hayer's shoes. Yeah. You're organising, you're making sure you've got your front post, you've got your back post, you maybe your man in the hole, someone on the 6, man for man marking. If that's what they go for, it can't then be for him. He might see it, but it's too late. Yeah. So I just think that's got to be Ten Hag or whoever is a set-piece coach beforehand. Right, this is what we're going to do. If it is sort of 4 or 5 man for man, I don't know teams you played in, it'll be a mixture, wouldn't it, of zonal and a mixture of man for man. But yeah, you'd have your danger, you know, the guys coming up from the back, Haaland just being as big, strong, good aerially as he is, that would be your best header of a ball would be up against him.
Yeah. I think he is the biggest player in that team as well. Ten Hag said after the game that that shouldn't have happened and that Varane had gone off injured with the ankle.
Right.
But even so, there's still Scott McTominay's on the pitch. He's good in the air.
To be fair, Scott was the one that ended up just sort of in front of him, weren't he? He's Eriksen's man, and he just leaves Eriksen for dust.
Ridiculous.
He doesn't even try and stop his run. At least get your arm across him or something, do you know what I mean? But he didn't do that, and then from that moment on, the power. And like, as soon... it's a joke, right? This guy's a phenomenon, right? As soon as I was watching it, and as soon as I could see that ball coming out, I was thinking, well, he's just going to clear everyone out here. And he does, doesn't he? It's just like a given. You know what's going to happen.
He basically curved his run. And Eriksen's running around like his little boy. Like that's the height difference. And then he's got a jump on McTominay. It's like, it wasn't even training ground, was it? It's literally like, nobody move and let Haaland get on the end of this.
Just a goal, yeah.
Do you know what it is for me? He's just so well proportioned. Like, you know, you get some players like a Peter Crouch who's big, but he looks big, so he's kind of big and slim, whereas he's just big. He's so well proportioned.
Everything, even his like aura. He's got an aura about him, I swear. Like, the worst thing could happen, he would just go, yes. Yeah, like anything, like whatever. What did you make of De Gea's performance? 6 goals. How does it feel, by the way, being a goalkeeper? You've just been pumped 6, yeah? You've just let 6 goals in. But I'd say he didn't really have much chance with anything, did he?
The life of a goalie, innit?
Yeah.
You know, we say all this, and actually City probably had, what, shots on target? You probably know better than me, but 9 or 10, I guess? I'd have to look.
He made a couple of saves, didn't he?
Made a couple of saves, but this is it. There's nothing he was at fault for.
Yeah.
You know, 6, I don't think there's another goalie in the world that saves any of those 6. No. So it's one that you come out and you kind of feel like you've done everything you can do within your power, yet you've just conceded 6 goals. And no doubt he'll get a 4 in the paper. You know, but there's nothing more he could do.
Well, I mean, I was interested to ask you about this because at United at the moment, it's a real divide on De Gea and he's not a modern goalkeeper. So therefore, if you concede 6 goals, you've got people saying he could do better on a couple of those. The only one I thought, and I know we spoke about it before, but obviously everyone's not heard it, is the Foden one, where we thought he was offside and he just whipped it in. But they were practising whacking and past Edison pre-game from that sort of distance.
The only reason he would get questioned was because it was near side, but it's not near post. I mean, the fact that he's reasonably central. The finish didn't actually get that much... I suppose no one really noticed it on because they were so focused on whether it was offside or not. The finish was incredible, by the way. He's curled it. He smashed it at the same time. Whipped it with pace, right next to the post. Again, I think the fact that De Gea has taken up a true position, he's not overcovered the near. So the fact he's taken up a true position, you're just not going to save it.
Yeah. Do you know what the thing is when you play against Man United, particularly away at Etihad as well. Sorry, Man City, particularly away at Etihad. There's not many goalies actually come away from the Etihad having had a brilliant game. You might make a few saves, yeah, but the majority of the goals that go in that Man City score, there's nothing you can do about it as a goalkeeper. Because what I say, they're world class, they're the best in the world. Getting the ball behind you, cutting it back, boom, goal.
Their one-on-one finishing is brilliant. I mean, there was just a segment before the game where they were about 15 metres out from Edison. One-on-ones.
Goal.
Hinging it in the bottom corner with a bit of curl, taking it away from the goal and in. And Edison's he's a very good goalkeeper, isn't he? And it's just like, he should be saving some of those, but obviously you two know.
Well, is that one the one that Sterling kind of got known for? Like that one that you say whipped across the box. And actually Haaland's now, you know. I mean, that one that was whipped in, he's finished with his left foot.
Mate.
Just...
the power, like you could see, like you say, you know about his proportions.
Yeah.
As he's approaching that ball to like get his foot onto it, you just watch it and think, well, he's in full control of absolutely everything. His whole body position, his legs, everything is in full proportion and he knows what he's doing and he just drills it in the goal. And it's like, goal. That's it. You're not doing anything about it. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. Can we give some love to Erling Haaland, by the way? Because as it stands at the minute, okay, right, 14 goals he scored, okay? If he carries on at this rate, he'll score 66 goals this season, yeah?
Well, he only needs 8 to break Son and Salah last year.
And
we're only on the 2nd of October, 3rd of October?
He's got 30 games left to score 8 goals, which will beat last season's Golden Boot winner, yeah?
It's ridiculous.
So, if he carries on at this rate, 66 goals, yeah, he will score this season, which means it will take him 4 seasons to be the all-time Premier League goal scorer. The guys, it's different levels, isn't it?
The one that I heard yesterday was that he's got 3 hat-tricks now, which has taken him 8 games to get 3 hat-tricks. The closest prior was Michael Owen, took 48 games.
Yeah.
You know, Ronaldo, whoever else, all them.
Well, I think the damning stat before the game was, I looked at some sort of betting odds for first goal scorer, all that kind of thing. To open the score in the actual game, the best priced Man United player was 8-1, right? 8-1, Marcus Rashford. Erling Haaland alone to score a hat-trick in the game was 7-1.
No.
so Erling Haaland is at 7-1 to score a hat-trick. For any Man United scorer to open the score, it's 8-1. That's where we are, though, guys.
I think it's getting boring talking about Haaland. I think the debate has to be now, how many goals could you score up front for Man City? Because I really do think that they're so good. I mean, his goals yesterday, they're good. He's brilliant. But you're getting so many chances in and around the 6-yard box with that team. I really do think the experiment for next season, when they've won this league comfortably, is you've got to have a League One striker, pick your best one, and they'll still win it. He'll still get 30 goals.
True that, it's true. It's like imagine like if you had someone like Frank Lampard as well, with that guy who could arrive late in the 6-yard box and score those kind of goals. Like people, they're just tapping it in for fun. I just want to quickly talk about Ronaldo and Casemiro. Ronaldo obviously even just left on the bench for the whole game. I don't know if you saw it, but at one point the camera zoomed in very, very tightly on them two having a bit of a snug old little chitty chat, And it didn't look like it was the happiest like chitty chat, did it? Casemiro's kind of whispering into Ronaldo's ear. Ronaldo's, yeah. What do you make of that? That looks to me like it's not brilliant.
I think when you lose a game like that, it's always going to look really bad on the manager, because you've got Casemiro, who was man of the match in the Champions League final 4 or 5 months ago. You've got Ronaldo, who was our player of the year. You're getting absolutely destroyed by Man City, and they've got those two sat on the bench. It's never a good look. If you win, you look like it looks great. But if you don't,
tactician.
But if you lose, it's like everyone's like, what an idiot. Yeah. So there's no getting away from it. You'd want those two players on the pitch, I think.
And what do you make of Ten Hag saying that he didn't want to bring Ronaldo on because out of respect, basically? That's bonkers, isn't it? Come on, what's this about? What is that about, Reg? Please tell me. What is that about?
I think that's a nice. I think it's a nice line. I think it's a nice line to say that, because that is, you could see, and I mean, Ronaldo doesn't hide his expressions all that well, does he? He didn't look that happy sat on.
I think he knows what he's doing, though. I don't think this is just pure emotion coming across him, and he can't.
No, he's quite calculated.
He, like I say, I think he's a bit calculated with it all. He knows, I think he knows when the camera's on him, and he knows what sort of facial expressions to pull. Yeah.
He can't lose in that situation, can he? Because he would, you two would know, you would want to be involved in that. The worst thing as an athlete when your team's losing is sitting back and watching it. But I can also understand what Ten Hag's saying. I'm just surprised he did it publicly, that putting Ronaldo into that game when it's over is a waste of time. He's not going to change it, but Ronaldo would want to be on, wouldn't he? Really Ronaldo would want to go on.
He'd want to go. Yeah, he would. It's just a really awkward situation, isn't it? Now you've got Cristiano Ronaldo and he's not playing. So really, wherever Cristiano Ronaldo is, he has to play. That's, I don't know, being the type of player, he's not now going to see out the next. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about your retirement at some point later on, but he's not the type of player that's going to go and sit on a bench in League One, League Two and make his way down the levels. Like, he'll go out at the top playing. Yeah. And that's how it should be.
I think the happiest person is probably Harry Maguire yesterday.
Yes.
Because he would have...
Not my fault.
He would have, he would have made no difference. We still would have lost 6, but he probably would have got a lot of pelters for it. And actually, I don't think Varane, Martinez, De Gea get much blame compared to the midfield and everybody else. So, Maguire's probably missed the right game there, because he could have made no difference and probably would have got a load of pelters for it.
There's a lot of players, mate, who tactically get an injury about a week before the Man City game, Away at Man City is a prime time to come down with illness, a little calf strain, hamstring strain. I've seen it. Don't worry about that, mate.
It's like that Christmas hammy.
There
Everyone used to love a little Christmas.
It just happens for that 2-week period just over Christmas and New Year.
It's going to be the Man City hammy. That's going to be it going forward.
By the way, these Arsenal kits, I know I've said it before, I've got the black one, I've got the pink one. They smash it every single year. This one is a thing of beauty, and even you said you like it, didn't you?
I don't like the badge.
You don't?
I like the Adidas designs more than United's.
They're lovely, aren't they?
Unless it's something like that.
You're having that over this?
Oh, 100%. This is
Yeah.
beautiful.
No, I prefer that.
This brings back
absolutely
memories.
beautiful.
This brings back memories.
That's got trophies in it. That's got.
All right, do you want to do what you're wearing?
This
then?
has got Clayton Blackmore written all over it.
Yeah.
This has got Brian McClare in his heyday.
Yeah?
Yeah, this has. This
I'm
is.
with you, mate. I'm with you.
Mark
What season do you
Hughes.
think that's from? That's got to be...
It's got to be 90, isn't it? 89,
something
90?
in the 90s, isn't it? Early 90s?
I think we might have won the Winners' Cup in that.
1990, Barcelona.
Mark, talk us about your outfit for today.
It's my can't be bothered. I think it was like a jumper they did for the Chinese New Year. But no, I woke up this morning and decided to wear black.
You're gauging...
It was cold and I was like, I've got to do the football fill-in. It's got to be something with United, so I just put a jumper on. Apologies. I'll be back next week.
Gauging and representing the mood of the Man United fans out there.
When we stuff Everton next week, I'll be back in a vintage kit like that.
Okay, so I've got, obviously, you can see this beautiful Arsenal shirt, which brings me on nicely to Arsenal. The North London derby. North London is red, okay? Genuinely, are Arsenal contenders for this season, Rich? Genuinely. Come on, don't sugarcoat it, give it to me.
No. No, they're not. But I think they'll be in second place.
Yeah.
No, they're not contenders only because Man City, I just think, are that good.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I think that they'll hit 100 points this season. I've got no doubt they'll hit 100 points. So it's more the fact, I think Arsenal will be high 80s, I think, which would ordinarily win the league. I think they look really, really good. I've been really impressed. Aaron Ramsdale, I mean, he's just getting better and better.
Yeah, talk to me about Rambo.
I love his person.
Did you see his save that he made on Saturday, by the way? Early doors.
Yeah, Richarlison, wasn't it?
Richarlison save. Real strong, read it really well, got down quick.
Powerful. He's got his certain character that he is, but I like it. I like the fact that he's mentally as strong as he is. I like that he's enjoying it. And as a specimen, was he 6'4"?
Yeah.
Like, kicks it an absolute mile, the perfect shape of a goalkeeper.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
No, I love how he plays. And I think credit to him because he's had the lowest lows with a couple of relegations and I saw him at Sheffield United. He's another one, very visual. You can see him and he wears his heart on his sleeve and he looked very animated. But then I think having gone through that now, it's almost the best thing that could have happened to him as a person. Yeah. Because he looks like he's relishing the challenge.
Yeah, it's like he's had a bit of everything, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like I say, he's only, mid-20s? But he's had a bit of everything already, like a bit of ups, bit of downs, lower league. Yeah. But I think he's probably played in every league, I think, something like that anyway. Yeah. But no, I agree, mate. I think he's that front-footed, confident goalkeeper that someone like Arsenal needs, and he fits the mould perfectly as well. Yeah. Like I say, young, hungry, good to go. Arsenal, talk to me about Partey's goal, because do you know what it reminded me of? Yaya Toure. Do you know the way that he kind of just strolled onto it and side foot twatted it in the corner?
I think Spurs were a bit like United in that game. Away game after an international break.
Overwhelmed?
A little bit lazy, a little bit not at it. Yeah. I've always said that I think after the international break you want to be at home. And it was a brilliant goal by Partey, but they showed it on the TV. I think 10 metres. There's 10 metres and he's on the edge of the box. Yeah. He could have took a touch if he wanted to. And at this level, and we know what you know about goalkeeping, there's not a lot you can do. Like, a good player can beat you from that area, and he just whips it absolutely perfectly.
It's how wide it starts. He starts it so wide. Yeah. It just comes right into that top.
The pace of it as well, though. So Lloris is diving, and you know for a fact that he's diving, and he knows he's not going to save it. Yeah. He has to dive, though, doesn't he?
Oh, gets a good step in, good dive away.
Yeah, he has to dive just so he doesn't look a dickhead on the telly. That's the way it goes. You know it's going in the corner, but you still have to go for it.
You still have to go for it.
For God's sake, here we go. What did you make of the second goal? A bit of a fumble, really, weren't it?
I felt for him a little bit. He's made the initial save, and it's just, I don't think he quite gets his bearings for the second ball. Yeah. You know, and it's one of those really awkward ones where almost you're how do I describe it? Your hands aren't where you want them to be, so you can't quite get in quick enough to sort of trap it. And then it's that horrible feeling when it's squirming through, and there's nothing you can do. Then you're just praying that someone comes and clears it. But
you know, the first bit, should he be palming that further away, or is it not?
If you can, I think the difficulty was it was almost inside. So you get that a lot. It's kind of like of course, in a perfect world, you parry it out wide for a throw-in or a corner. But I think the fact it's kind of in close and you can't get two hands to hold it, probably does all he can. It's unfortunate more than an error for me.
Yeah, when it's in this little area here, the only place you can put it if you're not holding it is here. Like it can only go there. Whereas it's almost sometimes you wish it would further out here, and it looks a better save, and it's an easier save though, isn't it? It's a much easier save.
This is great because I look at it and everyone else looks at it and they go, yeah, he's got to get it further away to the fullback there. But
it's fine because we've got Gary Neville, Souness, Keane, all goalkeeping experts. We don't need anyone like Ben there. It's fine.
Don't worry, you ain't got to go in on it, mate.
They've got it now.
It's really interesting.
They have got it now. Gary Neville, goalkeeping expert. We're cool.
But it was a big moment though, wasn't it? You know, Lloris, that goal goes in, and then Arsenal from that moment on, Tottenham go and get the red card. Silly red card, by the way.
Not a red card for me.
You're not having it, no.
It was. It didn't look like he meant it.
No, that's what I mean. And I can't stand, even on TalkSport this morning on the way down, they were like, Jamie O'Hara's going, for me, it's not a red in a derby, but when you watch it in slow-mo, it's pretty bad. Why are you watching it in slow-mo? Why are you watching it in slow-mo? It's not in slow-mo. So I just think that I was enjoying the game. And I think in a derby, and I know I've had a bit of arguments with people over the weekend, you've got to let referee it a little bit better. Arsenal, I think, we're going to win the game. As soon as you send that player off, Arsenal definitely are winning it. But I understand that you can't just say, well, you've got to follow the rules. But I think he tries to trip him up, and I think he catches him with the studs.
Yeah.
It's the same referee that, I don't know whether anyone can remember it, Everton, Liverpool a few weeks ago, where Van Dijk tries to get the ball but stamps down, yellow card. There was one Arsenal on United a few weeks ago, yellow card, same referee. So he's not showing the same consistency in his own refereeing.
Or he's probably seen the fact that he could have given a red card and then won, so he knows that the next time one of them challenges comes, he's like.
But in this game, I'd give him the.
Exactly.
If you've not done it in a Merseyside derby, and you're not done it Arsenal United, don't do it in a North London derby.
Yeah,
so he's contradicted himself. So I think for me, it's not a red.
Do you know what the thing about it is though? I think just looking at the game as a whole, I agree with you. I just think Arsenal just look better.
Yeah, they were going to win that.
And there's all the stats back it up as well. Like you could just tell that Arsenal had something about them, and I think that for Gooner fans out there, that will be the thing that they'll be buzzing about most. Is that I think deep down they know they're a better team than Tottenham,
100%.
which is they're heading in the right way anyway.
And Emerson Royale is a liability. I don't know why he gets picked.
Yeah,
I'll defend him on the red card a bit, but when I saw the team news come out 11 o'clock, I said Martinelli's definitely scoring, and I know he didn't.
Yeah,
but he got him sent off, which is basically the same thing.
Exactly, it is the same sort of thing.
You know what I quite like about Arsenal as well is the fact that Arteta now, there was times when there was a few people questioning him, certainly started last season and what have you, but just the process that they're putting in place, bringing in the right players for the system that he wants to play. And it is the whole, I guess, Pep Guardiola's the master, and he's obviously learnt alongside him. But it is now, you know that this is a long-term vision. This isn't going to be, even if they lose the next three, they're not suddenly going to bin him. No. Like, this is a long-term process they put in place.
Imagine that, doing it the right way. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? There's another team I could think of that could benefit from doing it that way. Right, Rich, do you know what time it is right now?
Go
on. It is time. Look, I've got a new board. I've written it out this morning. By the way, it is time for the world-famous football filling 60-second quiz. Have a little look at this board. Oh, look at this. It actually says 60 seconds now instead of 60S, which made it look like it's the 60s quiz. But this is
not
actually
really a new board, is it? It's just got new writing on it.
No, I've turned it portrait.
All right. Oh, okay.
It was landscape before. So now it's gone portrait.
Could that not now mean it's like the 60-second quiz rather than the 61st quiz? Like, is this the 63rd time we're doing the quiz?
No, it's
not got a clue what you're talking about.
It's for 60 seconds.
Oh, 60 seconds.
Yeah,
all right.
60
so you're not putting S on seconds then?
What?
I'm right, aren't I?
60 seconds,
I'm right.
quiz.
60 seconds.
It could be like we've had 61 quizzes so far, so this is a 60-second quiz.
Do you need to pluralise it though?
I mean, I would put an S on it personally.
Okay, each their own. Either way. Rich, what's your football knowledge like?
Horrendous. My goalkeeping knowledge, great. Outfield football, nothing.
Oh, well, all right. So you might be in trouble today then, okay? So if you get less than 2 or 2, you are going to the bottom of the pile. You're in the mud, basically. You're scum, yeah?
Worse than Aaron's.
Worse than Aaron's,
I mean,
right?
that's pretty poor. I'm confident I'll get more than 2, but I know nothing about football.
All right, well, let's see how we get on then, okay? I've got your questions here.
Okay.
Super Jamie has done them this week. Jamie.
Let me have a sip of coffee.
Before we start, have you fact-checked all of these? So they're all guaranteed. The answers are the answers, yeah? You're not thrown in like a rogue Arsenal one, which, when was the last time Arsenal won a major trophy and you said it was like 2017 when it was actually 2020, no? Definitely none of them.
They'll be in the comments if you got it wrong. You know.
Oh, yeah. Let me know in the comments, by the way. If any of these questions are factually incorrect, get down below, all right? And also, by the way, I've got to say, if you are listening to us on Spotify, you can now watch us, you know. You can actually watch us. We're a vodcast, not only a podcast, all right? OK, we're good to go then. Richard Lee. I need a timer, please. If we can have a quick timer, lads.
OK.
Ready? Hold on. You've got to build this up a little bit more, right?
Sip of coffee.
OK. You ready for this? Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Just woosah. Calm. You've got this, all right? Mm-hmm. Play along at home, by the way, everybody. See how many you get, okay? You ready? Countdown.
3, 2, 1, go.
Which English player has scored 51 headers in their career?
Harry Kane.
Peter Crouch. Who is the only Brighton player to score a Premier League hat-trick ever?
Trossard.
Yes. Who was the first player to score 5 goals in a single Premier League game?
Andy Carr.
Yeah, well done. How many red cards were there this weekend?
2.
3. Who holds a record with Alan Shearer for the most penalties missed in the Premier League?
Harry Kane.
Wayne Rooney. Wow. Which team won an indirect free kick in the penalty area this weekend?
I didn't see that. I'll have a guess.
You can pass.
Brighton.
Chelsea. Which English player was sent off on his debut for Real Madrid?
It's either going to be Owen or McManaman.
Can I say one, mate?
I know I can. I'm going to go McManaman.
Jonathan Woodgate. Which manager got a yellow card at the weekend?
Conte.
Patrick Vieira. Who was the last player to win the Ballon d'Or, excluding Ronaldo and Messi?
Oh, I know that one.
You can pass.
Modric.
Yes, well done. Which?
I
said which. I've started.
So you can finish. That's fine.
I'll
It's
finish.
more than 2, but go on.
Yeah.
By the way, before I ask this last question, you are the slowest answer of questions I've ever seen in my life. How bad is he?
Still beat Danny Aaron's, though.
He is still going to beat Danny Aaron's.
I'm taking this.
Like
I might get 4 here.
If you don't know the answer, just say pass. Like, get the next one.
Then I think you might as well get an answer in, surely. There's only 20 Premier League teams. I might as well guess.
Miles off it. Right, I started, so I'll finish, all right? Which Chelsea player scored against their old club this weekend?
Which Chelsea player scored against the old club this weekend?
It's a doddle, this. Come on.
This should be a doddle.
Not if you didn't watch the match.
That's true, I didn't watch that one. And I'm trying to think of an outfield Chelsea player now.
You're on 3, by the way, at the minute, so you're not in the mud. You're not at the bottom of the pile, at least.
At the bottom, okay. Let's go with Sterling.
Oh, you're brutal. It's Conor Gallagher. Richard Lee, 3. Rubbish.
I'll take it.
Absolute rubbish, all right? But yeah, sorry, mate. You're at least
Let
not...
me have a look.
You're at least not on the bottom of the pile, all right?
I'm not even in the relegation zone. I think I'm just above on goal difference.
Do you know, I might put you in between Thogden and Bish, yeah? You can go on 3 in there, all right?
That's fine.
All right, sweet.
I'm cool with that.
Mark, even though you've done this every single week that you've been on
I'm not doing one now, am I?
You want to do one, surely?
Well, I can do one, but I'm not prepped. Very miserable.
It's a quiz questions. That's the whole point of quiz questions. You don't know what's coming.
Okay.
Right, are you ready for this, yeah? His football knowledge is decent, by the way.
I'm feeling after this derby weekend, I might crash and burn here.
You're low, aren't you? Yeah, you're low. Morale
Got to get some energy into this now.
Okay, so yours doesn't count toward the board because, you've got your score and you're happy with it and that'll do, all right? And I'm top of the league and I don't want you to take over me.
And I have beaten it on previous weeks and it's not been allowed. So
no, because
I know the rules. I know who's in charge.
That's how it goes, all right? Jamie, can you give me a nice little countdown, please?
3, 2, 1, go.
How many teams play in the FIFA World Cup?
32.
Yes. Who was the first player to score a hat-trick in a Manchester derby?
Van Persie.
Haaland. How many London teams played at home this weekend?
3.
4. Which footballer was known as the Black Spider?
Pass.
Lev Yashin. Good question. Who scored the 5th goal in the Manchester derby this weekend?
5th goal in the Manchester derby?
Yeah.
Well, it'll be Foden or Haaland, so I'm going to go Foden.
Anthony. Which country hosted the 1994 World Cup?
USA.
Yes. Who scored their first goal for Everton this weekend?
Cody.
Yes. Which national team were named the Clockwork Orange in 1970?
Netherlands.
Yeah, got to be. How many games were played on Saturday in the Premier League?
7.
Yes. Which British team has won the European Cup more times than they have won the title in the top flight?
Chelsea. Forest.
Yes, you've got it. Your favourite team. Of course you know that. Who was Britain's first £1 million player?
Trevor Francis.
Yes, well done. What was that? 7.
That's not bad from a lazy start.
Let me ask you the Manchester question. Was that this weekend, did you mean? Who got the first hat-trick?
No, who was the first ever player to score a hat-trick in a Manchester derby?
Chelsea's. 5-1. Back in the day.
Uh-oh.
Do I get a bonus point for that?
Yeah, 20 years ago, yeah, he did. Yeah, we've done a little bit of a VAR check, and you know what? It turns out I'm going to give Richard Lee a bonus point, because do you know why? Andre Chelsea has scored the first hat-trick in a Manchester derby, and I'm proud of you for knowing
Thank you.
In a 5-0 victory for Manchester United in 1994. Jamie, you are a scumbag. I love you, mate. It's not your fault.
Everyone's just obsessed with Haaland.
That's all it is, yeah.
There was football before Haaland.
Haaland on the brain. That's what it is. I'll give you a bonus point. You can get 4. You got it wrong anyway, so it's absolutely fine. But well done, lads. That was decent.
That.
I think you redeemed yourself. I said you were rubbish, but you redeemed yourself, mate, all right? Okay, so let's move on. We're going to talk about Liverpool. Stuttering start to the season continues. I saw a little fact this morning, actually. Liverpool, after 7 games, have actually dropped more points than they've won so far this season. 21 points at stake. They've got 10. They're in 7th position. They've dropped 11 points already. Genuinely, is Jurgen Klopp under a little bit of pressure? I don't think he's going to get sacked, but is he under a little bit of pressure?
Not yet.
No?
No.
You think he's got credit in the bank, yeah?
Oh, he's got a ridiculous amount of credit. I think that, and as well, they're still playing reasonably well. I think this is a real frustrating one for them, though, because they need to get that momentum soon. The fact they've dropped 11 points, I know we'll keep going back to Man City. Did Man City drop 11 points this season?
They're out the title race.
Yeah, they are, for sure.
It's unbelievable. The way that the Premier League is now, the elite levels of the top teams, I think that it used to be 11 points. Win 7 or 8 on the bounce and you'll be back there. I don't think that's the case anymore. Like, I think 11 points is such a big gap.
Genuinely, well, if you think Man City, there's a genuine chance they could get 100 points this season, yeah?
Yeah.
Genuine chance. There's only, 114 at play in total?
That's what I mean.
So, 11 points. Now, you're going to have to win every single game to even have a chance at trying to get this trophy this season.
Well, it wasn't that long ago, where City, did they beat them by a point or whatever it was?
Yeah.
And it was, but both teams won the last, 15 games of the season or something. It was just a joke. So, that's a really big couple of points dropped.
I think you're right. I think the problem with Liverpool is the mentality is slipped. I think last season they played every single game you could because they got to every cup final. Yeah. It's a small break, isn't it? 2 months when you've had a season like that. They're so intense. I think they've started the season slowly, thinking they could grind out results. They haven't, and now they know they're not going to win the league this year. And I think mentality has just dropped a little bit. That they know they're up against it this year and they're not going to hit the targets. The World Cup coming up, so... Do
you think Klopp... The one thing I've noticed a little bit, Klopp's persona has just shifted slightly.
To what? From what to what?
He seems a bit more frustrated.
Yeah.
To me. Just a little bit more frustrated, whereas...
Vulnerable.
Do you think?
Yeah. Maybe...
Well, I actually think a lot of people talking about maybe Klopp gets the sack. Never going to happen. That Liverpool fan base will not turn on him. He delivered them a title. I didn't think they'd win a title again in my lifetime. But what you might get is what Dalglish did years ago, which is, I've reached the end of the road, I'm having a chat with the board and saying, I want to go myself. That's more likely at some point that he might just go. They call it the 7-year itch, don't they, with Klopp? Apparently he lasted 7 years at Dortmund and then... I don't like Liverpool, I'm sure you're the same, but I do respect what he's done at Liverpool. The intensity of that team over the last, 7 years is unbelievable. And I know you get all these rumours about all sorts of stuff, but the reality is what he's done is amazing, and it's probably not sustainable. They probably are going to run out of battery, so he's either got to rebuild that team like Sir Alex did, or it's going to run out, and I think it might just be running out a little bit.
Yeah, they need a little refresh, I think. Top 4? They're going to get top 4 this season?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. They'll be fine for that.
Still happy with that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Brighton, though, I think people still just not giving them enough praise to be...
I do.
They are absolutely killing it, honestly. You watch the way they play as well. Like, them getting a 3-3 draw away at Anfield is no mean feat, by the way, but I actually watched the game as well. I've watched the whole complete everything. They were in the game as well, you know. They were proper at it. So, fair play to them. New manager, got off to a great start. Brighton, 4th.
Do you know what? I swear Brighton, I put them in the same category as Arsenal now, I put them in the same category as Brentford, where there's a real process behind the scenes. Whoever the manager was that came in, it didn't change 95% of what was going on at the football club.
Yeah, sure.
So it's a machine that's just running so well.
We have a feature every week, Rich, where it's Champ or Chump of the week, all right? Somebody who's done really, really well. Somebody who might not have hit their expectations this weekend. I don't like using the word chump because I feel it's a little bit degrading. It's more like, don't worry about it, mate. Next week you'll be cool, right? You'll be fine. You'll get back to your best, all right? We've got some nominations, though, this week for Champ of the Week, all right? We've got Trossard, hat-trick away at Anfield. And then, obviously, the big boys. You know who it is. You're going to hate me saying this, but we've got Phil Foden, your mate, and then we've got the big man himself, Haaland, all right? Who do you think's deserving of this Champ of the Week?
This is one of them, isn't it? It's like, you kind of feel like Haaland gets so many awards. Surely we've just got to share them out.
Else, yeah?
It's like a Sunday league game. Come on, he's won man of the match the last 3 weeks running. Let's give it to another lad. No, I think Trossard getting a hat-trick at Anfield, that's huge.
It's impressive.
That is huge.
I'm with you, mate, yeah?
100%. Shushy pants with his rubbish hair's not getting it. Haaland's not getting it. But you're right, a hat-trick, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy, and it takes the attention away from the derby. So, yeah, no, a hat-trick at Anfield is unbelievable for a Brighton player. So, yeah.
All right.
He's a good player, Trossard, as well.
He is a very good player. 27 years old, by the way. I think if he carries this sort of form on, 5 goals for the season, if he carries this on, there's going to be teams sniffing around him.
It's got to be worth a look, yeah.
I'm with you there, lads. Leonard Trossard, you're the man, mate, by the way. Chump of the week. Right, we're going to move swiftly on to Chump of the week, all right? Okay. Like I say, I don't like giving this award out, but you've got to do it sometimes, all right? We have got 2 nominations for this week. And the first nomination, I feel like this guy has been up for this award quite a few times already. Our mate, Eric Ten Hag. And I think it is, honestly, about the 3rd or 4th time.
And he's never won it.
He's never actually won it. We've been so kind with him, yeah. This might be the first week.
For him either.
This might be the first week, but we've got to get Eric Ten Hag in there. It's a Manchester derby. You want your team to put up a fight. You want to show everybody what you've got, and it just didn't happen. They went down, no fight in them whatsoever, 6-3. A few question marks over his team selection as well. And then also another nominee is Emerson Royal for Tottenham, who, at the end of the day, didn't have a great game, but went and almost kind of ruined the North London derby, because once he's been sent off, it's already 2-1. It's game over. Who are we saying?
I'm going to go Emerson Royal.
Emerson Royal, of course you are.
But because even though I don't think it was a red card, you've still put yourself in that position where a decision's been made, and it was silly what he did, and you can't blame him for being picked. He shouldn't be being picked. But no, I think if you're a teammate, you're obviously going to be very disappointed with him, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Rich?
It's harsh, isn't it? I think Ten Hag, it's been one or the other. Like, he's got real extremes. He started the season, the Brentford game, and I'm sure he was on your nominee list then. Sure. Then he's gone and done brilliantly, turned things around. What was it, 4 on the spin? Yeah. But playing some really good stuff. So it's kind of just 2 extremes. It's either fantastic or not fantastic.
You don't know what you're going to get.
But that's the inconsistency of the players, isn't it? I think that's the problem with United.
In general, yeah.
You can prepare these players, and then I think with that game, if you'd seen tactical mistakes, you could put it more on Ten Hag. But what I saw was the players just bewildered by the occasion and just all over the place.
The moment they went to, I'm always massive on this side of things. Like you could see it throughout the team. Suddenly it was like, it's that one where it's an easy thing to say, where can you just bash the wall right? Can you just like grind it out for 10, 15 minutes, stay in the game, and they just didn't. No. And the moment it goes 3-4, it is one where it could then be anything. But right, so does that mean he's the chump of the week? I mean, such a harsh. Have you not got like another word you can use? Like
just must do better.
Must do better of the week.
Must do better of the week, yeah.
Well, I'm going to go for him then.
Oh yeah,
I am because I think that Royal. I think, like we said, it is a little bit unfortunate. It's not his fault that he ruined the London derby. Yeah. I mean, obviously, technically it was because he got sent off. But to blame him for that moment, I don't think there was any intent in that moment.
Okay, cool. You're going with 10. You ain't got to explain your decision, mate. It is what it is, right? By the way, can you put your hand up to camera? Just look at your hands. They are shovels, by the way. Look at the size of his hands, Matt. Do you used to be a goalkeeper or something? Look, they are absolutely massive. I've got little baby hands.
Yeah, you have actually.
Why are your hands so dry? Why? They're weirdly dry. He's got massive hands. Anyway, so I am going to go for Emerson Royal. I'm sorry, lads. I can't give it to Ten Hag because I just don't think it's his fault. I really don't. I think he's the players have to be blamed for this one. They didn't turn up. They didn't fight. They didn't give it everything. I think they wilted and they didn't show what they were capable of. So I'm going to give it to Emerson Royal on this one. There you go. Okay, we happy with them?
I'm excellent.
Yeah, boom. There you go. Right, we're going to talk about some of the other games then quickly. Fulham at home to Newcastle got an absolute pumping. Newcastle did very, very well, but I want to talk about from a goalkeeper's perspective. Bernd Leno, all right? I gave him save of the week a few weeks ago, right? Because some of the saves I've seen him making this season have been outrageous, right? I watched the highlights, and 2 of the goals that went in, he has made a world-class save before. I mean, world-class save. And then he made another one later on, just tipped it around the post. Got no love from the commentators whatsoever. Shock. From your point of view, how annoying is it, yeah? How annoying is it when you make these world-class saves and then it pops out and there's a Newcastle player there just going, cheers, mate, thank you.
Yeah, the worst.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. He's done really well, actually. Do you know what? I thought him coming in, I felt sorry for Marek Rodak. Yeah. Like, what more can you do? 2 promotions.
He's done it 2 years in a row.
2 promotions. Every time they get to the Premier League, they bring someone in. So I felt for him, but no, credit to Leno. I think he's come in and he's done really, really well. And again, this game goes back to what we said about De Gea earlier, where you feel like you've done all you can do yet you get very little credit, and that's safe, especially the one he's tipped onto the post, like the footwork, the explosion, fingertips, it's going in the top corner. And it's annoying because that gets cleared and they win the game. He gets 10 out of 10 man of the match.
Exactly.
You know, but you lose. No one cares.
How many did they let in? 4?
4-1 in the end, yeah.
No one's going to remember the goalkeeper, are they?
No.
It's a thankless task when you're making a world-class save and you lose 4.
It's always your performance or your score is always dictated by the result. That's the bit that kills me, is you can have a worldy game, lose 1-0, no one cares.
True that.
Yeah, well, we do a player rating system on United Stand, and you're right, De Gea yesterday, I think I gave him a 4, and everyone gave him a 4. And when you look back, you go, why is he not getting an average 6 or at best a 5? Because if he can't do anything on the shots, what has he done?
Exactly. None of them are savable.
So Leno's probably a 7 or a 7, maybe. With that.
Even a 6. A 6 is a standard. Did nothing wrong. Boom. That'll do you. Yeah.
But Leno's made a world-class save and let 4 in, so
3
it's probably a 7.
saves.
Probably a 7 then, isn't it?
7 or an 8. Yeah.
Felt for Fulham though. Red card. Chalobah. Mitrovic went off injured. That could be a problem for them, to be fair, couldn't it?
Yeah.
The main man, the big man.
The bubble might be bursting with Fulham a bit.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. We'll see. Southampton, Everton. Everton actually got picked up a good couple of results recently, to be fair. Lampard was under even like about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Massive pressure. Gets a couple of wins. Boom. Everything seems to be. I think they're 10th in the league now. What are they? No, 11th in the league. It's not a bad start for them, really.
Evertonian. I mean, I mentioned this a few weeks ago, and a few Everton fans sort of commented saying we like Lampard. So you can observe it as an outsider and think he's in trouble, but he's got the support of the fans. And we were talking a couple of weeks ago. They're not conceding goals, and Pickford's been doing quite well.
Yeah.
They weren't scoring goals, and now just even scoring 1 or 2 goals, and they're getting the results. Aren't they?
How big's that? The game before the international break. You know, bear in mind, they hadn't got a victory before that. And actually, Begovic came in for that game, did brilliantly. Did really well. Win 1-0, first clean sheet of the season. Then you've suddenly got a 2-week break. The different feeling that you've got going into an international break.
That 2-week period is spent, everybody's kind of buzzing around. Everybody's got a bit more energy. Takes it into the next game, though, that does. It is, it's gold, isn't it? People don't understand this.
United next.
Yeah, is it really? Oh, well, there we go then.
At Goodison.
Just at the wrong time for United. Hasenhüttl, I want to talk about him quickly. I think he's genuinely under a bit of pressure. Southampton, very indifferent this season, aren't they? Very, very indifferent.
I'm surprised he's still in it. I like the way Southampton play, and they don't spend a lot of money. And we've mentioned Bella Kotchap. I don't know how he played at the weekend, but do you sack a manager like that who's going to come in and do a better job? I mean, they sort of are where they are, and they're going to be like lower.
Is what it
probably
is.
Not get relegated, but lower half the table, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think Southampton fans can be expecting miracles this season. So, Chelsea 2-1 winners against Palace. Conor Gallagher, who you did not know scored the winning goal in the last minute of the game, did score the last minute of the game, and it was a lovely goal as well. Chelsea just I don't really think they're brilliant at the minute. They're kind of getting results, but they're doing a job. Nobody's really buzzing off them though, like they were last season, no.
Palace are just one of those teams. They're always the victim. They were at Anfield and they could have got a win and they drew. They went to Etihad at the 2-0 at half-time and they lose. They're beating Palace. Thiago Silva should get sent off. You know that's going to bite you in the backside.
This is a red card, right? Yeah. Have you seen this, by the way? You definitely haven't seen this because you didn't see the Chelsea game.
Stonewall.
Right. He basically... He's fell on the floor, the ball's gone past him, but he's literally reached out and just like tapped it away.
He has 2 goes at it.
Yeah, the lad's running through one-on-one and he's just swiped it away from him, right? He gets a yellow card for it. The referee went and even checked the VAR, checked it and still gave him a yellow card. It was ridiculous.
That's the sort of one where you need someone to come out afterwards and say why you're not giving the red, because the only thing I can think is that it's AU of Palace. He's got 5 metres on Reece James and he's 30 metres away from goal. You can't say Reece James is going to catch him. That's the reason he's not been sent off. He is clearly going to be through one-on-one. It's a goal-scoring opportunity. 30 metres out, there's no benefit there. You're not getting a penalty. No. So I think it's bad.
I think it's, do you know what it is? I guarantee you, Thiago Silva today would have watched that back and he will go, I got away with one there.
I think Chelsea fans will. They were moaning on Saturday, but it's one of those. If it happens with United next week, I'd go, yeah, he's definitely not a red. And then you're there going,
it definitely is a red. He knows he's got away with one. He's lucky. West Ham Wolves, Bruno Lage, another Premier League manager sacking. Wolves struggling a bit, to be fair. What are they, 19th, 18th in the relegation zone? I'd need to say, I've got to put it out there. Ruben Neves played at centre-back in a back 3. At the weekend. They've let Conor Cody go to Everton, scores at the weekend, and they're playing Ruben Neves at centre-back. What is going on? If ever you're going to get yourself sacked, it's going away to West Ham, losing 2-0 and playing Ruben Neves at centre-back, right?
I feel a bit sorry for him, though, based on last season, I thought he would have got a bit. We said about Lampard, you get that win before you, when suddenly you're mid-table. Like it is still so early. I thought they might have given him a bit longer.
No,
they've got some good players though. They brought this lad in from Lisbon in the midfield, Nunez, and I think Guedes is there. Been a bit unlucky, but I think the problem is they're so boring. Right. They're so boring to watch, and I think Wolves fans had. I think it's the fans. I think the fans. I don't know, but I think Wolves fans had said we want a change, and
yeah, that'll do.
Yeah. I agree with you though. It's a bit early, but
new manager guaranteed going to be Portuguese. Yeah,
He's got to be. He's got to be. Most of the team is.
We were joking earlier. Somebody said, I think it was you, Tom, the guy behind the camera, by the way. Went, do you reckon Sean Dyche could get the Wolves job? And we all kind of went, no, absolutely
Not unless he can
zero
speak
chance.
Portuguese. Can he speak Portuguese?
No, he cannot. No. My gosh. Yeah, and then finally, Villa Leeds. Can I tell you a little story, right? So I've watched the Man United game yesterday. Man City 6-3. It's incredible. Like, oh my God, I'm buzzing. I'm there with my son, and I'm like, mate, and you know what? It's only 4 o'clock. We've still got another game to go. We've still got another game. How good does this, like, Sundays don't get any better, right? My God, this game was miserable. It was absolutely brutal, right? I don't even want to talk about it. Don't give me your opinion on it, all right? They should not put games like this on at 4:30 p.m. on a Sunday when we're all buzzing for it, right? It was rubbish, wasn't it?
I'm glad you said this because there was only one place I was going after the Manchester derby, and it serves Estrella, and that's where I was. So I didn't watch this game. So I was glad it was 0-0. I'm glad it was 0-0.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's not much to talk about. There's a red card in it. It was brutal. Right, we'll leave it there. Lads, that is the show done. And as always, thank you so much, Goldbridge, mate.
Thank you,
man. Richard Lee. Thank you for making your football filling debut and smashing it with your awful quiz knowledge. However, you did redeem yourself with
4 points though. He's mid-table.
He's up there. Yeah, he's up there. Konchowski's one saved you, but. There you go, everybody. Thank you for watching. As normal, we will see you next week on the Football Filling.